Good morning, and we sincerely apologize for coming up behind schedule developing stories. Ondo State Governor held a courtesy visit to the Agoreti Leposorium camp, represented by Secretary to the State Government, Dr. Taiwo Fashoranti, and accompanied by Special Advisor on Women Affairs, Dr. Samaye. Dr. Fashoranti reaffirmed the government's commitment to supporting the community. Addressing 6 key concerns raised by residents, the governor announced immediate actions including empowerment program for artisans. The camp's leadership is expected to meet with the government to ensure effective implementation. Joint Admissions and Matriculation Board JAMB says it will conduct additional mop-up examinations for candidates who makes the 2025 Unified Tertiary Matriculation Examination (UTME). JAMB Registrar Ishaq Oluyede stated this at the meeting with the key stakeholders to address the challenges encountered during the 2025 UTME in Abuja. Oluyede said the board would accommodate the estimated 5.6% of candidates who makes the examination by organizing a special mop-up exercise. According to him, the board has extended the opportunity to all the affected candidates regardless of the reasons for their absence. He criticized those questioning the swift rescheduling of the examination for affected candidates, explaining the tight academic calendar the UTME candidates must adhere to. Former head of state Yakubu Gowon, Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu of Lagos State, and Director General of the Nigerian Institute of International Affairs (NIIA), Egosa Osage, have reiterated the need for unity among economic community of West African states, ECOWAS member states, despite obvious challenges and crack within the regional bloc. Speaking at the international conference put together by NIIA in Lagos as part of events to commemorate ECOWAS at 50th anniversary, they said the bloc could build a more prosperous and integrated West Africa by leveraging its collective strength to address shared challenges. In his address, Governor Sanwo-Olu said it was important that these challenges were faced and new integrations embraced in order to sustain the growth within the bloc. Speaking, Osage observed that ECOWAS had, over the last 50 years, proven itself to perhaps be the most successful model for regional integration in the global south. Also speaking, Gowon made a case for the reintegration of 3 Sahel nations that exited the bloc early this year, saying necessary diplomatic strategies should be applied in order to restore peace in the group. The rainy season is here again, and with it a worrying spike in malaria cases. Experts say this rise is linked to the ideal breeding condition the season creates for mosquitoes, the primary carriers of the disease. Our correspondent Taiwo Adewumi reports.
Pools of stagnant water, a common sight during heavy rains, provide the perfect environment for mosquitoes to breed. According to the World Health Organization, Nigeria accounts for about 27% of global malaria cases and 32% of malaria-related deaths, a grim statistic made worse during the rainy season. Research indicates that areas with above average rainfall see a 30 to 40% increase in malaria transmission due to expanded mosquito breeding grounds. A medical practitioner, Dr. Olaoba Ado, highlights effective prevention strategies including the use of insecticide-treated nets, indoor residual spraying, and proper drainage of stagnant water. These measures, it says, are essential in cutting down malaria risks, especially now.
This is the time that you have accumulation of water in the cans, bottles, jars, pots around the houses. Then when we have bushes as well, we have accumulation of water when it falls on the leaves. So, and then the mosquitoes tend to breed on these places. So in order to prevent malaria, then you have to make sure that you remove conducive environment for mosquito. That means environmental management. In terms of waste management is very important.
Also, Dr. Michael Ojo emphasized the importance of parents and guidance ensuring that children sleep under mosquito nets and stay warm during the wet season. He warns that unless these simple steps are followed, the surge in malaria cases may overwhelm local health systems.
The mosquito are common during rainy season for obvious reasons. You know, in this part of the world, you have a lot of containers, usually container here and there, that contains little in some, water from the rain, and this harbors those mosquitoes to brew. That's why you have a lot of them during this period. And when they brew, they have to be biting people here and there. If you know that, then it means what should we do to ensure that we have less of this kind of thing. Apart from those places, they can even use ordinary, the spaces between, leaves and vegetables. So what we need to do is to ensure that our surroundings are very clear of all those debris.
A resident, Mr. Ayodeji, stresses that keeping the environment clean and disposing of waste properly can go a long way in stopping mosquitoes from breeding. He also calls for increased community sensitization, especially for children and vulnerable groups as the rains intensify.
Minimize their activities on the streets. From they go to school, back home, keep warm, stay indoors. And if the weather is good enough, if there is sunshine, then they can play outside and come back inside. I think with that, we can reduce the spread of malaria.
With the rainy season now in full swing, public health officials are urging communities to take proactive steps before preventable illnesses like malaria take a heavier toll. Adewumi Taiwo, Osrc News.
And that's developing stories. Thank you very much for watching. Good morning.